Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. We have got ourselves a good night of Dota. There's going to be two best of threes. iCCup and Mousesports will be the first best of three for you. Afterwards, the winner of this best of three will face up against Fnatic. And you wonder, why is that? Well, this is the loser bracket. And one of these two teams is already going home, and then the winner still has to fight another match to see if they can get a chance to fight in the grand finals up against Virtus Pro tomorrow at 1900 CST time. Yes. Before we're gonna continue, I'm gonna say that you should definitely check out gc.corsair.com because you can win all kind of cool prizes, including a fully geared gaming PC, and all you have to do is fill in your email address and like on Facebook. That's it. Nothing else, no stories about why you should be the one, no, just your name. Or sorry, just their email address and a like on Facebook. That's it. So, iCCup, Mousesports, best of three. I won't be by myself. Don't worry. Kanaz, welcome to the broadcast.
Good to be here.
So, Mousesports has had a good run.
Yeah.
But so has iCCup.
Yeah, iCCup are doing well in this tournament as well. Yeah, not much else to say about it. They've both been looking pretty good. Obviously, iCCup, since the Starlighter finals have looked a lot better, I think. So that they are continuing to do well is a good sign.
I agree. Who do you think is the favorite in this one?
10 seconds.
I think probably most people are going to favor Mousesports regardless of how well iCCup has been doing lately. Mousesports, the team that won the West qualifiers, that's kind of like the real big tournament that happened recently. And they're an international team now, so I think that gives them the favorite status in this match.
True. I think a lot of people are expecting Mousesports to do very well in this matchup. Of course, Mousesports has, they played up against KP yesterday, that's how they got here. Mousesports had a very passive style of playing, and whether that is because KP was the one that held everything back and slowed everything down, could be, but Mousesports definitely not one to be as aggressive as iCCup, for example. iCCup, a team that is, sorry for cat sounds, that's known for playing very aggressive, for finding kills all over the map, and of course, core player in that is Resolution, one of the youngest players in the scene that is doing as well as he is doing in that mid lane for iCCup, and definitely a playmaker for their team as well, though already, if he is going to be playing a Dragon Knight, not really one of his typical heroes, to be fair, unfortunately.
Yeah, Dragon Knight's a little bit less aggressive of a hero typically in the middle lane. So we'll see how that ends up affecting Resolution. But you're right, he usually plays heroes like Queen of Pain, like Puck, that can really get active on the map very quickly. And Dragon Knight just doesn't feel the same. And speaking to passivity from Mousesports, I think Mousesports has always been a team that's very comfortable going passive.
Yeah.
Black is a very strong farmer, so taking the game late against Mousesports has always been the sort of thing that they're very comfortable with doing. Just counting on Black to be able to continue to farm and eventually carry in the end. Picking these multi-core lineups where Quickva has been running some sort of other carry. Is that a sign, just a strategy they adopted because KP loved going late game? Possibly, but they're also a team that's comfortable with it.
Yeah, we have got some standard bans, I'd say. I mean, of course, Batrider IO banned. OD and Naga Siren were the other two. Naga Siren and OD, not always the first one to be banned out, but at least always one that we see fairly early on in the draft, be that bans or picks. And therefore, of course, Visage made it through. iCCup picking up a Leshrac very early on is not something that you see every day. Leshrac is a hero that normally is still in the pool until the very end, but they really want to have him, so they pick him up. And they pick up a Dragon Knight with that, not really giving too much away for that draft either. With a Lifestealer picked up by Mousesports, solid hero, and played by either Quickva or Black. Both have done it before. In terms of bans in the second round, a Broodmother ban, so this is Mousesports maybe replying a little bit to Leshrac pickup, purely in terms of not wanting to get pushed. I mean, iCCup was the one to play that heavy push strat, weren't they?
Yes, iCCup did run the very heavy push strat. Was that like a couple days ago?
Yeah, it was on Tuesday. I think I casted that with you.
Yeah, that was really sweet. I like that they were able to, because yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
They ran it during Starladder and didn't really have a lot of success, and it was a little bit different of a push strat. It was more resilient. It had a little bit more of a late game feel if it kind of stalled out. Of course, it didn't stall out in the game, and they were very successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, a push strat is always the sort of thing that can work very, very well. It's just you have to be careful when you pick it up if the other team already has a lot of anti-push, and I think that was what they ran into at Starladder, is the other team was already prepared for it. It became obvious, and then they, hedged a little bit towards that, and they kind of stalled out, which, makes your strategy look real silly when you can't take all the towers down by like 25, 30 minutes, and then suddenly your heroes don't do anything anymore. Yeah. They had success with it before, though. I don't, probably not going with it here. They have the Shadow Demon Leshrac, just I think is a kind of lane support combo. These two are very good at roaming together. They can get a lot of kills very early on, and they have quite a few good stuns already.
Yeah, could you, by the way, turn on your microphone inside the game?
Yeah, I toggled it a couple times already. I don't.
Okay.
The first game of the day, it never seems to work unless, and I toggle it 12 times, I guess.
Okay, people from the Dota TV, if you're listening to us, then please let us know if you can indeed hear Knaz now that he's toggled his microphone a couple of times. I like the ban for Mousesports though, like banning out the Broodmother. That just shows that they've done their homework. They know that the potential could be there, and by just removing one hero, they kind of show with that one hero that they are prepared for it. They don't want to be facing up against Broodmother, okay? But they kind of give that warning sign to iCCup, like, we know what you're up to, and we will be ready for you if you come. So iCCup picking up the Shadow Demon and now taking a long time to think about their next pickup. I'm thinking they were still aiming to go for a bit of a pushing strat, but now Nature's Prophet is on the other side, and, they kind of got scouted out, if you will, and are forced into maybe a different kind of playstyle, and now thinking about their next pickup. Dragon Knight, in theory, could still be on the offlane, and they could still pick up a very aggressive mid for resolution, even though Puck, of course, banned out by themselves. Queen of Pain is still in the pool. Lone Druid and Weaver were the other two banned out, by the way. That was the two offlaners, but iCCup were able to pick up now another offlaner. It is a Darkseer, a hero that we normally seen very early on in a draft, but apparently iCCup not really too sure about taking him, or at least taking a long time to think about that one particular hero.
Yeah, Darkseer feels like he's been sort of falling out of favor lately, I guess. I don't feel like we see him as much as we used to. Maybe it's because he's not getting first phase picked as often, and he's getting banned out in the second phase quite a bit. Like, I'm willing to believe that's the case, and he's just picked up here now. But definitely still a powerful offlaner, and maybe they're a little uncomfortable with it, and they just felt like they didn't have another option for offlaner. Obviously, Mousesports, they have Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet, both of whom we see on the offlane from time to time. I don't know. I'm not sure where iCCup is going with this lineup, but they're not revealing their hard carry and who's going to be farming in that lane. It could be something like Alchemist very easily. He has another good stun and pairs up pretty well with Shadow Demon Leshrac. Or they could go a little bit more aggressive and just pick up any number of heroes. It's somewhat unusual that we're seeing the carry wait all the way to last, though.
Yeah, and it's also somewhat unusual that the Alchemist, in that case, is still on the pool. Mousesports could actually pick up the Alchemist if they want to. They opt to go for the Rubik instead, so that's going to be their secondary support. Visage and Rubik will be the support combo. It's also a very nice combination to have roaming to try and get kills, especially knowing that the Dragon Knight is on the other team. Dragon Knight, a hero without an escape mechanism. I mean, he's tanky and all, but he can't really, escape. Like, for example, Lifestealer could, because he has got that rage. He can be immune to the Split Earth or whatever comes thrown his way. So, already having a maybe a bit of a threatening mid lane for iCCup. Next banning phase is ongoing. I'm thinking we're gonna see still an Alchemist banned, because he would fit into both lineups, depending on what Mousesports wants to put mid, though, of course. And it looks like iCCup, they want to just remove some mid heroes. So it's the Queen of Pain that gets removed.
Yeah, with both Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet already up on the side of Mousesports, it looks like they're probably looking for a mid hero. They could certainly mix that up and send like Quakeva to the off lane with Lifestealer and send Nature's Prophet mid, or switch it around and have Lifestealer mid if they think he's going to do particularly well against Dragon Knight. It's not a terrible matchup. Dragon Knight has the farming nuke though, and Lifestealer doesn't, so usually Dragon Knight I think comes out ahead once the bottle crowing starts happening. Yeah. It's up to them if they think they're comfortable with that. They can certainly do it and pick up another carry here. But Resolution and iCCup not really thinking that's going to be the case at the moment. So they go with the Queen of Pain ban, just a hero that's pretty tedious to play against when you're a Dragon Knight.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but it's just annoying. And people just don't want to do it. I don't blame them. One, of course, advantage that Mousesports has here that is that, yeah, they have the last pick, so they can completely control everything that happens from now on, obviously, but more so just knowing exactly what they're up against and already know exactly how iCCup is going to run their thing. They still pick up a Luna in the end. The last time that we saw iCCup pick up a Luna is that game that you were talking about in Starladder where their pushing strat just didn't work. Curious to see if she can farm up enough to be dealing with that Lifestealer, because, I mean, she is considered a bit of a glass cannon. However, her combination with the Shadow Demon is pretty strong. Mostly because of Lucent Beam already being heavy nuke on itself, but if you combine that with a Soul Catcher, that is extra painful. And it might actually... Nah, it's not going to be an aggressive trial-in. I would hope that we were going to see an aggressive trial-in, but knowing that there's a Rubik and a Visage against you if you had aggressive trial-in against those, not really ideal. And Magnus, long lost Magnus rather, will be picked up for Mousesports, so that's going to be one to... well, one out of the box. An old dusty box by now.
Yeah, it's weird thinking that Magnus is a pick that's out of the box, considering what Dota was like just a couple months ago, where Magnus was first ban, first pick material every game. But Magnus, yeah, that's going to be their pick. Going to see him in the mid lane. It's kind of a callback, I guess. We'll see how it ends up going. There are reasons that we don't see Magnus picked up as much as we once did. He's been nerfed several times in a row. And the latest one where his ultimate just doesn't do the damage it once did makes it so solo kills are nigh impossible for Magnus. Yeah. And that really hurt him bad.
Yeah, in that mid lane, normally, of course, you would be able to stay alive with the bottle. You can still do that. The difference between Dragonite and Magnus at the moment is that when they reach level 6 right now, Dragonite can actually go out by himself and make something happen, or even in his own lane. Magnus, however, will need some help, because otherwise, you know, he just doesn't have the damage, as you said. So let's see who's playing what, as, yeah, I did switch my overlay, awesome. So, cool, iCCup will be on the Dire side for this match. First of all, let's just remind you people that you are watching the Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament. We are in the loser bracket semi-finals. That means that Mousesports or iCCup, the winner of this matchup, the winner of this best of 3, will move on to the loser bracket finals, which is played after this one up against Fnatic. And then the winner of that match, which is also of course the best of 3, will face up against Virtus.pro tomorrow in the Grand Finals, which by the way is a best of 5 without the winner's bracket advantage. So iCCup on the Dire side for this first game of the best of 3 will have Mag playing his Darkseer, no surprise there, as that is one of his signature heroes. In the mid lane we'll have Resolution on the Dragonite, a bit of a more passive hero than he normally plays, but still one that he's fairly comfortable with. We have got a safe trial lane for iCCup. Zik on the Shadow Demon, Jackal on the Luna, and Always Wanna Fly will play the Leshrac this game, as there is a very aggressive ward placement already in the first minute by iCCup, so looks like they want to try and make some pushes happen. I mean, it's not a pushing lineup per se, but you still have a Luna, and you have got, of course, a Leshrac, and if he goes for Edict, those towers will be going down fairly fast.
And they just want to be aggressive on Quakeva, who is playing Nature's Prophet up in that top lane at the moment. We'll see how long he ends up staying there if he runs to the jungle in the near future. Mid lane, that's going to be Fada on the Magnus for Mousesports, and then finally their safe tri lane will be composed of Synderen on the Rubik, Pause on the Visage, and finally Black taking up the Lifestealer.
Yeah, and he'll have complete free farm this game. Not the, well, not the most comfortable thing to be up against, to be fair. Like, if you're gonna be playing a game and you know that your enemy has got Black as their free farmer, like completely free farming, yeah, that's gonna be, like, either you have to have a really good plan, or, you know, or you're gonna be having to deal with a very fat Lifestealer. But I'm assuming that iCCup have a plan. With their maybe still pushing on the top lane. Getting an early gold advantage might be something that they're gonna be having. As Always Wanna Fly has a bit of a skirmish with Quakeva here. Quakeva getting the upper hand though. But at least he is not getting experience. Always Wanna Fly still achieving something with that.
Yeah, so Quakeva's not really getting a lot of experience. That's obviously less than ideal. This is really dangerous for him to be up there. There's a lot of nuke damage that can come out very quickly there. If he gets caught in disruption, the Split Earth is very easy to land, as long as you're aware of the timing. And obviously I'm going to assume that the professional players are aware of the timing. Yep. Always Wanna Fly missed that stun. Kind of silly. But yeah, he has to be real careful. If he gets caught by a disruption, he's probably dead.
Most likely. Most likely indeed. And the lucky part for iCCup is, and maybe also for Koikfa, is that there's no block, so pulling and stacking is possible for iCCup. And that means that maybe Koikfa is going to have some more time here than he had before in terms of getting pushed upon or not. Of course, Nature's Prophet, if he does get pushed upon, he has got treants that he can create that he can use to pull the creep waves behind the tower and actually get some last hits there, actually get some experience and farm. Forcing iCCup to, hopefully for Koikfa, leave the tower. Leave the tower alone. But for now, all things are peaceful. With actually, of course, Mag in the jungle. I mean, there's no surprise there. Mag can't really do anything on the bottom lane. He knows he'll get telekinesis and slow a lot, so his escape mechanism, his surge, is not really effective. And, well, I said everything was calm, no longer true. We have a smoke up. We just can always want to fly, gonna rotate behind the tier 1 tower on the top lane.
Yeah, he's continuing to stack here. Mag is stacking in the jungle. He's going to be doing pretty okay on his Darkseer. It's not the fastest, but I don't know. Koikfa is probably in a lot of trouble here. He's still level 1. He doesn't have the teleport. Now he's stuck to the side of his tower.
And we see some things coming off as well. I mean, yeah, the smoke gets revealed. They know he's there. Question is, can they find him? Now he gets level 2. He looks to TP himself out, but the disruption is in time. There's a soul catcher as well. Can they take him down in time? One losing beam to interrupt the TP again, and the first blood on the board goes the way of Jackal's Luna. And that's going to be iCCup taking a lead here. Although, of course, Jackal did have to miss a couple of last hits for that one. But gets himself some extra gold on the side. Never bad.
Yeah, so they're going to get him down. Koikfa, you kind of have to know when you're staying at level 1 that that's real dangerous. He wanted to get the free experience, and he almost was successful. He got to level 2 and then immediately started porting out, realized what was going on because he could see Luna running over that way, but the supports were just a little too close, or at least Weejazik was. Always Want to Fly kind of got caught out by the creep wave. But now Koikfa, he actually does come back up towards this lane once again. This is still really dangerous for him. They've already gotten him once behind the tower. He can't really afford to give up another kill. So he's going to have to play extra careful, but he really wants this experience because they're right on top of the tower, I think.
Yeah, let's see how much he can defend this tower with. Lucent Beam already. They might be able to get him again. Here comes a disruption, but TP incoming from Cinderin. Split Earth is going to miss, actually. A bit mistiming from Always Want to Fly. Fade Bolt going through. It looks like Weejazik might be the one to drop first. There it is. That's a kill going the way of the Rubik. Luna still gets a Nature's Prophet, though. And Always Want to Fly on the way out as well. It's a 1-for-1 trade, however. And with a 2-for-1, a 2-for-3 matchup, I'm thinking actually Mousesports not doing that bad there. I mean, their Rubik got a kill. Yeah, their Nature's Prophet died again. But their tower is still standing. They got a kill in return. And they made sure that iCCup maybe is gonna stop being as aggressive as they were, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to stop being that aggressive. They end up losing a support. They get another kill on the Nature's Prophet, who's definitely a little bit more important, I think, to Mousesports' success than really the Shadow Demon is to iCCup's in terms of just farm as the game goes on. They're taking quite a bit of experience there, which is nice for him. And it looks like he might be trying to set something up near this mid lane, or just, yeah, probably setting something up towards the mid lane. I don't know if he's going to be particularly successful. So it's good for Rubik to be able to get that experience, but it's better to shut down this Nature's Prophet completely. And Quickfoot's just continuing up here. No fear whatsoever. He's already died multiple times.
Yeah, this time though, Always Want to Fly and Weejazik no longer top. They're gonna rotate again. Sentry Ward goes down. I should be able to actually no, the ward on the radiant side of the top ground, high ground just there, just vanished. Cinderin also rotating though. He looks for resolution, but it will be a counter again coming off straight away. Disruption there up on Cinderin. In comes a Split Earth. It's gonna be in time this time. It hits. There is an RP though up on resolution. Cinderin's still the one to go down, and the Skewer only gets an illusion. Pass comes in. Looks for Always Want to Fly, but he should be able to get himself out of there, slowed or not. The haste from that pass has not gonna give him an extra edge. And that's going to be one kill going the way for iCCup. Resolution still should be a little bit careful here. He gets slowed again. In comes Weejazik. He does have another disruption. And actually lands it up on the Magnus just to keep Resolution safe. Courier hanging in the midst of the lane because he doesn't care. But Mousesports, again, having a rotation that is not that favorable for them. Or at least this time they don't even get a trade out of it.
Yes, Fado rather, really unlucky with the Skewer. He's only got level 1 in it because he decided to grab that pointing in power, and he's only sitting at level 6. So when he goes to skewer Resolution back, and there are the illusions there from the disruption, it grabs one of the illusions because it can only pull one target. So really, really unfortunate there. Otherwise, they probably could have gotten that kill on Resolution just by pulling him that far back.
I think so too. Yeah, that's quite unfortunate actually. In the meantime, no, Black's still free farming. I mean, in terms of last hits, he is of course higher than the Luna. However, he is not higher than Mag. Of course, Mag has been in the jungle, so his last hits don't count as much. But definitely not a bad score for Mag. And I mean, yeah, Black is high, but the Luna and the Dragonite are right behind him in terms of last hits. So iCCup, I think overall doing okay. Question is, how long are they gonna let Black free farm there, and are they actually gonna try and get him at some point, try and kill him off, or are they just gonna wait until they've taken some extra control over the map? Another smoke gank, by the way, iCCup, making real good use of their smokes.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure where they're going. It looks like they're looking for Quakefa, and they're gonna spy him out now.
Yeah, he
but
knows though.
finds
TP
them
out.
as well.
Can't happen. Here comes Soul Assumption. Or Soul Assumption. Soul Catcher. And the Edict. Yeah. Nice kill. Of course he couldn't try to TP out again. That would have been a disruption like that one right there. Telekinesis there by Cinderin. There comes a nice Split Earth though. Fate Bolt doesn't do too much. And again, Mousesports can't get anything done. Have a double damage rune up on Magnus. Have an RP. But they just can't get a kill in.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger problems with Magnus nowadays. RP just doesn't have the effect it once did, and now Cinderin trying to counterward from the ground. Gonna get punished for that. Killed off in the mid lane.
Yep, in the meantime Mag has a clutch escape on the out of the Radiant jungle, getting chased down by Pass as well as by Black, and Jackal was able to take the tier 1 tower. iCCup active on all lanes. And getting kills in mid lane for it. I mean, Cinderin going down was of course a nice extra bonus. They popped the Dragon form. Can't get a tower on the mid lane just yet, but I mean, they have some nice control going right now. They have 4k gold in their favor, which is quite a lot. I mean, it's not just that tower and kills, it's also last hits and farm in the jungle. Of course, Quakefa hasn't been able to really get that much farm at all. He's got 14 last hits and he died 3 times. And his counterpart, Mag on the Darkseer, of course, doing really well. He's actually building towards the mech.
Yeah, and that's just the difference between Mag, who decides the jungle, and Quakefa, who went towards that top lane, and he did a lot of work up there. Don't get me wrong, he was keeping his tower safe, and I think that was the plan, was that they just wanted him up there to try and prevent the push on the tower for as long as possible. But it does really hurt any sort of item gold progression coming out from him. He's still only level 6, 9, almost 10 minutes into the game. Whereas Darkseer is sitting at level 8, almost 9 now. So kind of a big advantage built up in that offlane. Hopefully Quakefa can start to get a little bit of ground here and catch back up.
Yeah, Cinderin indeed, level 4 still. That's really painful. I mean, he has rotated quite a bit. Of course, he's the one that has that one kill that Mousesports has so far, but other than that, his rotations haven't been really successful. Maybe he's gonna get some extra experience with the creep wave that he, or creep wave, the stack that he created. He's gonna take the farm, of course, together with his teammate, but he should be getting a couple, well, level 5 at least from it. Maybe not higher level, but at least level 5 will be nice. And I guess, I mean, Nature's Prophet is one of those heroes that when he gets his hand of Midas, he will still be able to catch up. The downside of shutting him down so early on already is that it will take, of course, longer for him to catch up. And that's something that you don't really want to have, because you already have your Life Stealer soon ready, and that means that your Nature's Prophet is basically still behind everybody else. Not ideal at all. Luna though, highest on net worth. Oh, and the moment that I click on her, she had 1337 gold. That was cool. And a Dragon Tail up on Quakefa. In comes a Losing Beam, and that's gonna be another kill. There we go. Jackal with the last hit. 3-0 killing spree on the hard carry of iCCup. I think they're pretty happy with how it's going so far.
Yeah, Luna, one of the heroes that's better in the carry role at getting those kills early, so not ultra surprising that he would have like those. Obviously he has a reliable nuke, just makes that better. But continuing to put pressure on that top lane, the tier 2 is already at like 3/4 HP. Just gonna back up now with the glyph use, but they'll use a glyph for that. In the meantime, iCCup can rotate towards the bottom lane, keep their tier 1 in the bottom, but defended.
Yeah, no tower down yet on the side of iCCup, but this bottom tier 1 has taken quite a bit of harassment. Mag now sitting there almost 24/7 though, and that's helping them keep that tower. Mid lane, well, Resolution exits himself from the mid lane, successfully so. Pass hanging around as well. I mean, what do you expect Mousesports is going to attempt to do? Just wait until they have the farm and just try to play passive as they can? Avoid fights?
Yeah, they could certainly try to just evade fights for a while. I don't know how much success they'll really have, because iCCup's lineup, they're pretty content, I think, early on, just taking the fight. They have Leshrac, Luna, Darkseer. All these heroes are pretty fine with starting to move forward very, very quickly towards the enemy team. If they get more farm on heroes like Dragon Knight and Luna, that's certainly fine, and not something they're going to be super upset with. But with the way the game's going, and they've kind of let Black free farm, and they're doing well in pretty much all of their lanes, I kind of expect them to continue the pressure in the near future, and we'll see if that is the case. Mag going to get found out by Black, but nothing will happen from it.
And Black, of course, I mean, with his Hand of Midas, he is actually on the same level of farm as Luna is, without having the tower, without having those kills. And that's, of course, just the Hand of Midas at work, and he is now taking on some Ancient Stack, or not Ancients, just Creep Stacks as well, but he is definitely one that iCCup should be maybe slightly worried about. They are rotating more, though. I always want to fly, as well as we just Zeke are already sitting on that bottom lane. Either they want to limit the farming space for Mousesports by taking down the tier 1 tower, or maybe try to get a gank going up on Black. But that's going to be difficult, because Pass is hanging around as well as Synderen, and they're still on protect duty on Black.
Yeah, Mousesports are committing a lot to trying to keep Black safely farming down this bottom lane. And they are in the position where they kind of have to. If Black starts stalling up and they get a lot of kills on him, it's going to make it very, very difficult for them to survive. Just because their other two lanes aren't working maybe as well as they wanted to. Magnus not as powerful in the mid game as he once was, so they really need someone else to be able to do damage here. And we'll see if iCCup are going to be able to push in this mid lane now, and what Mousesports' response is going to be to it.
Fado does have enough money for Blink Dagger if he wants to go for it. I would really like to see him get it and then just try to force out a fight. Maybe, I mean, maybe not team fight wise. Oh, there's Blink Daggers and Mana Boots and the smoke. But maybe not team fight wise, but 3 on 3 would be okay if you have an RP. I mean, in terms of AoE damage, I don't really have that much, but if you have an RP up on a couple of people, there's familiars that can make that stun even longer, and with longer, that's actually a very, very long duration stun. And then you've got Fate Bolt and just shockwaves for damage, and at this level, it should be enough to really get themselves at least 2 kills out of that. Maybe not kill the Dragon Knight, but kill the supports that they get, if they get them, because right now, there's only a Shadow Demon around there. And, you know, there's a smoke, there's a, yeah.
It's the sentry.
The sentry
right there.
They see everything. And they know where they're going. I mean, this is a bit sad for Mousesports, of course. I mean, this is the first real level 6 or post level 6 action that they're attempting to get. And they're not gonna get it. Because iCCup, they shouldn't let themselves get caught out now that they know what's going on.
Yeah, so the smoke's not going to result in any sort of gank, but they only really committed the 3 heroes. Well, now they're going Dragon Knight.
Yeah, Skewer, Blink, Resolution will go down. I'm quite surprised he was still hanging around that far. We just think, of course, attempting to get a disruption in. Will get a soul assumption on his face, but doesn't die from it. Still a kill going the way of Mousesports, though. I'm really quite surprised he was still in range to let that happen.
Yeah, they knew the smoke came off. Maybe they didn't check Fata's inventory to see that he had Blink Dagger up. I don't know if that's a good excuse, but it's certainly an excuse. Regardless, Resolution going to get picked off there. That's a pretty good kill for them to get. They're going to put some pressure on this tier 1. I don't think they'll be able to get it. You know, not with Always One Fly having the 2-2-2 build for his skills. So he'll have those points in Lightning to clear that creep wave off.
Jacko actually has his BKB, and there's 4 people middle all of a sudden. The only one that's missing is the one that's TPing in right now. 5-man middle. They've got a mechanism, they've got a BKB, and I think iCCup, they're just thinking, you know what? We've got the advantage right now, let's just 5-man Dota.
Yeah, and they immediately go for the tower. They do quite a bit of damage with Leshrac having the Edict. They know that the ult is down from Fata, and they're going to kill Fata as well. Yep. So, yeah, they can push. RP being used on one hero, especially at early levels, is not as good when they have this kind of like pushy lineup. And now Darren's in trouble as well.
Yeah, Soul Catcher is there, and Breathe Fire just in case. Darkseer will make sure nobody chases down iCCup. Soul Assumption doesn't kill people yet. And, I mean, that's a tier 1 tower down. That's 3 people down. 2, rather, sorry. And it just, I mean, it went very easy for iCCup. They didn't really need to use that much. I mean, that Darkseer wall is kind of redundant. Of course, the Dragon of Knight's ulti was used. And he has actually got a Shadow Blade, which he didn't use, but I mean, this is iCCup probably ready to continue their 5-man streak. I mean, what's going to stop them right now?
It's hard to say. You kind of have to guess it would be Black is going to be what has to stop them. Yeah, he's starting to get up there in farm. He's got his Midas phase boots, armlet. It's 17.5 minutes in, so he's doing quite well for himself. Not as well as the Luna, but Luna has a lot of tower gold as well as kill gold to sit on, and they're going to walk right. That was a well-placed sentry orch in the bottom lane by Shadow Demon. Now if these guys with the smoke try and initiate it in any way, they're going to get spied out by that sentry. So, another smoke gank that's going to fail down this bottom lane. They're having a little trouble with their timing. iCCup, they're aware of what Mouse are trying to do here. They're placing sentries in very relevant spots, and it's kind of stalling up any ganks that they've been able to try and set up.
Yeah, in the meantime, a nice ancient stack there for Jackal. I mean, there was a ward to counter it as well, which now disappeared, but still a pretty nice price they got it there, and this is still a lot of gold. And with the bouncing blades from Jackal, he can just take it most of the farm from it. We also see Always Wanna Fly and We Just Zig taking some, but hey, that's allowed. Their supports, they got this stack for them. It's, you know, give them a little credit. It's okay. Jackal now 1300 gold, looking for the Mata style, and Yasha is about done.
Yeah, Jackal's still just about even with Black, even with all of that added up, and that's like a 2 tower advantage. But they're gonna go on Black now. It's gonna be hard.
Split Earth is gonna miss because the Rage was there. He TPs himself out, and we'll be able to do that. No, yeah.
It's one of the awkward parts about this combination with the Lashrak Shadow Demon. It's pretty much impossible to ever get Lifestealer with that, because you can Rage immediately out of Disruption, and there's no way for Split Earth to hit you before Rage, because it's an instant cast time, and obviously, even with perfect timing, there's still going to be a moment in there before it goes off.
Oh, Sinrin is already dead. Fana actually jumped himself inside the jungle even further. Pass will get dropped here perhaps as well. Tries to use his Visages to get away, but I'm thinking it's not really going to work out. Mag will have another search in 4 seconds. In comes Black. He has got this Basher. Disruption will be up on Black though, and they'll actually run out before they need to try and take him. So they'll take the tier 1 tower. Might take Fana with it if he doesn't blink away in 1 second, which he should be blinking away. No? They're trying to bait something out?
He's stealing the creep wave.
Yeah, that's okay. That works. That works. Tower still goes down, but at least it's not going to be more than a tier 1. And Fada TPs himself out, wisely so.
Oh. So there was almost a troll trap that came out there on Fada. He was walking around, and that probably would have been the death of him, honestly, if he had gotten caught by that troll trap and this TP got broken. We Just Zig, Always Wanna Fly, we're on the way. Other heroes could have shown up as well, particularly Resolution on that Dragon Knight, and he might have gone down. It was in the cast animation, so good for him to get out. But they lose another tower, they lose a couple heroes, and they're not really able to take anything as a result. Oh, I guess they get top lane. They get to top tier 1. Quakefo was working on that in the meantime.
That's
so he's
nice.
starting to have a little bit of impact with his split pushing. He had his Midas, it was at like 15 minutes, which is ultra slow.
That's an RP up on 2. Disruption still saves the Lashrak though, but they get Mag. Mag uses his mechanism. Does end up going down. Lashrak lives, surprisingly so. Tier 1 tower will go down. Mousesports replying fire with fire. In comes, or down goes, Always Wanna Fly rather. We Just Zig, the next one to run away, or attempt to run away. But I'm not sure if it's gonna work though. Nature's Prophet TPing in. We'll have a Sprout if need be, but doesn't even need it. 3 people dead on the side of iCCup. And this time, iCCup does not take a single thing in return for it. And all of a sudden, it is quite a few kills. I mean, Mousesports, they just more than doubled their amount of kills that they had. And kills that happened later on mean more than kills that happened earlier on, so pretty neat.
Definitely true that these kills are a little bit more valuable than a lot of the ones iCCup got early in the game. They also got the tier 1 tower down as a result of that, and that's certainly all good things for them. But they have to be a little bit cautious still while RP is on cooldown. If they get into another team fight while the RP is down, it's very difficult for them to actually take it, I think, just because iCCup still does have a gold and experience lead. But as things get sort of further and further, unless iCCup can build a larger advantage, it's going to kind of favor Mousesports.
Yeah.
With the Lifestealer, Nature's Prophet, and Magnus all being very effective heroes as the game goes on. Whereas kind of Leshrac, Darkseer, they maybe aren't as strong as time goes down.
I mean, Quakefire is already sitting on a Shadow Blade. He was the one that got shot down so heavily, and he's already second highest in terms of net worth on his team right now, higher than the Magnus, and even almost on par with Mag. And Mag was, and I don't even. Oh, I just realized that's confusing. But with Mag, I mean the Darkseer. So he's the one that, of course, Nature's Prophet in a way is competing against. And even though Mag was very fast at the start in terms of farm, he kind of slowed it down, of course, because a lot of rotations happened and he didn't really get any of the kills apart from one and an assist. And I mean, that's what happens. Nature's Prophet continues to farm and Mag kind of doesn't. Roshan, though, for iCCup, that will allow them to have a little edge again and perhaps will allow them to go get themselves that advantage that you were talking about, because definitely the longer this game goes on, and if it is being kept even, or at least as even as it is now, Mousesports is going to have an edge this game.
Yeah, and this Aegis is a pretty good pickup. They're going to be able to be very, very aggressive with this. And there's another stack of Ancients here, so that Jackal will be able to get even more farm. Always want to fly, get some levels out of it. Things are still looking good for iCCup. They definitely still have a lead, and they're going to have to make it. They're going to have to use it to their advantage soon, I think, or this is going to be pretty rough. Black is really big.
Yeah, he has a basher. Actually, he just bought something, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he just had the basher delivered, didn't he? Or he has the abyssal.
He has the abyssal already. Hello.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
That's pretty big. I mean, okay, he's up against Luna that has a Mantisile and a BKB. That's also not bad. But having an abyssal there already at 23 minutes in, 24, it's definitely something to watch out for. Oh, Fada, he has an Invis rune. They're walking right behind the rest of iCCup, who are trying to catch out Sinrin. There will be a Dragon Tail. Yep, and that should be Sinrin dead. Perhaps Fada can save him, but I don't think he will actually try. Nope. Walks into the hands of Black to maybe help kill off Jackal, which is of course the highest prior target on the map for Mousesports to take down. The pulse comes out for Jackal, and this is do they actually see Black right now? I don't think so, right?
Black is on the high ground, so they don't see him. Fada is still invisible, and I think he's just out of tower reveal range, so he's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a tactical thing. I don't think Jackal's might be in trouble, and probably is. Comment though on Jackal, the difference between Lifestealer and a different carry. So they're pretty similar in terms of net worth right now, only about 1k difference. That actually favors Lifestealer pretty heavily because he doesn't need the BKB. Luna has that BKB, so that's 4,000 gold that's basically being used for an ability that Lifestealer just naturally has. It's kind of what's going to be the difference, I think, when we see these carries fighting each other. Abyssal, a very expensive item, but it's also counters the BKB. You could still hold Jackal in place and try and get those kills on Luna. So it's going to be somewhat rough right now, I think, for Jackal, because he's about to get ganked and probably has no idea whatsoever.
Nope.
And it does have an idea. We should be kind of questioning where he got the idea.
Then he also, of course, doesn't have a tier 1 next to him that would allow iCCup to TP in and maybe help take this fight. And iCCup, I mean, at the moment, they don't have anything that goes through BKB. Like, there's nothing they have that holds Lifestealer in place. So, like, this entire game, Black is basically gonna have free reign as long as he can find people to attack. If he can stand next to him, then he can. Then they're dead, basically. That's gonna be something that iCCup might want to change. Either they need to get tanky enough to survive through that build-in BKB with Lifestealer, blink in RP, Jackal. I think you're dead, buddy. There we go. Oh, well, he had an Aegis. That's nice. Abyssal not used yet, though. Yeah. It's gonna be Black. Yeah, that's an Abyssal. BKB used. Actually, Jackal might still get away. There's a Dragon Tail. Darkseer goes down as well. And Black actually has to run. In comes Jackal again. Still has a 10-second BKB on turns and on this Eclipse, but doesn't really reach anybody apart from creeps. Shockwave goes through. Jackal still alive for now. Looking for a hero to take down. We already have Rubik taking down the Shadow Demon. Rubik himself goes down though for the second time in a short period of time. Pass will take the fall. 2 supports dead for 1 support on iCCup, and of course an Aegis taken. iCCup still being there fairly fast to help out their carry. And Jackal, lucky that it was his first charge of his BKB. 10 seconds. He could actually still use it when he ran back into the fight.
Oh, always on a fly. Good micro by the Visage Familiars. He should go down. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, wow. Missed that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I guess I could have pinged for it. Yeah, so I'm surprised that Jackal got away there. It was very, very close. I think Black just needed a bash and didn't really get one during those few seconds when he was hitting the light Luna. It was good rotation by iCCup. They got there in time. Obviously, Aegis is great for buying those seconds where your teammates are running to your aid. So having the Aegis definitely helped them there, but getting the kill on the Aegis is also fine. Maybe Mousesports shouldn't have committed quite so heavily once Jackal started looking like he was going to be able to get away. They shouldn't have continued trying to fight. I don't know, but definitely iCCup, they're going to have a little more trouble now pushing because they don't have that Aegis and there is that Abyssal on Black, so Jackal doesn't get a free make a mistake and don't get punished too heavily button anymore.
Now, of course, both Black and Jackal haven't died yet this entire game. That's the only 2 people that haven't died yet, both of the carries of the teams. And of course, the ones that have been taking the fall are the supports. And of course, I mean, Nature's Prophet was the one at start, obviously. But Rubik actually, Synerin has died 6 times now. So that's almost half of the kills that iCCup has are on the Rubik. And if you add to that the kills that they've done on Koikfa very early on in the game, which by this time are, in terms of shutting down Koikfa, negated because he has that Hand of Midas, he caught up, he is doing okay again. Of course, Jackal still got that gold for it, but nonetheless, Koikfa is back up to speed. I mean, he died 4 times, so that's 10 kills already, up on 2 people on Mousesports. And iCCup, I mean, it's nice that they get the gold, but they don't really slow down Mousesports with it all too much. And actually, they're gonna try to take something here. Koikfa TP's instant ward goes down, though. Koikfa's gonna get disrupted. There will be a Split Earth coming up from Always Wanna Fly. In comes an RP and a Blink. Black inside of that one, and that's 1 down, 2 down. The third running for his life. It's Mag. Gets abyssaled and gets taken down. No, he runs away with 20 HP. Darcy Wall goes down, and it's Black that dies. Resolution makes it happen. Synerin will be able to TP himself out, Pass also, and we see a complete turn of events as all 3 heroes of Mouse go down that aren't supports. So this time, only the supports stay alive, and so far it's been vice versa. Very good fight for iCCup, and yeah, picking the wrong targets. I mean, they picked up the supports very quick. I mean, the RP was up on all 3 targets that weren't the carries.
Yeah, so at first it looked really bad for Mouse if you're not like watching where they were smoked because Quakefoe was so far in, there were so many heroes from iCCup there. But I think they were expecting that and they immediately jump in to support Quakefoe. Unfortunately, the RP only hit the supports for iCCup really, so while the supports go down, it doesn't do a ton. And re-engaging a resolution, he's gone.
Yeah, BKB TP out. He's safe. Oh, Jackal might not be so lucky though. He doesn't have his TP up yet, doesn't have mana for or doesn't have his BKB up, doesn't have mana for TP Soul Assumption. Oh, there's his BKB just in time, running for his life. He could try to TP, but he will take too much damage. Maybe on the high ground he can try. He finds Ouija Zig, and Ouija Zig will be the one to help out. He doesn't see Quakefa though. Quakefa finds Ouija Zig instead, and that's going to be him giving his life for a carry, but that's worth it. That's worth dying for. Brave little soldier.
Yeah, he gives himself away for Jackal, that's probably fine. To be honest, Jackal might have gotten away anyways, but like making sure that Jackal does get away and doesn't give up a kill here is very important. Jackal's now the only one who hasn't died in the map, and Luna just needs that much more farm than Black to be really as effective in these fights. Right on the point from before, yeah, it was a good fight, and iCCup definitely came out ahead, being able to get all the cores down. The kills on Black are really important, especially if Jackal doesn't die for them.
Yeah, he has been in already 6 out of the 10 kills, so it's not that bad. But of course, dying just now wasn't really in the books, and actually kind of painful for everybody at Mouse, and it kind of changes their pace of the game again to be maybe a little bit more defensive. Of course, this was their big play, going in with 5, blink, infest out, and everything. Couldn't get anything done, and now they're back to farming. I mean, Black is, of course, doing really well on the farm still. He's still got 3k gold in his inventory, and overall is just doing fine. iCCup, though, they might have had some renewed strength right now to go for fights. Roshan will be up again in about 3 minutes. Perhaps wait for that one and then try to go in. And maybe at that point, Mag will have his item up, depending on what he wants to build with that. If it's gonna be a Hex, would be nice. Of course, more Disable. Disable is gonna be the way to go. Need to be able to shut down Koikfa and Black as Koikfa takes down a tier 2 top.
Yeah, kind of assume it's gotta be Hex. The other items Ultimate Orb going to seem real unlikely. But, you know, I've been surprised before by players. I'm hoping that's not gonna be the case here, and we're not gonna see something like weird Darkseer Lincolns at 40 minutes. But, yeah. Looking for more farm though, Mousesports. I'm not sure what they're going to wait for. Maybe it's just a little bit more money on Koikfa. He's doing the split pushing thing. He's got his Hex up now. Definitely gives him another disable. I don't know.
You don't know? Smoke up for iCCup. That's what I know.
I just don't know what Mousesports are going to. What is going to make them feel like they're ahead in this fight?
And I think
they're having a. Yeah.
You said it during the draft. Mousesports, a team that is fairly comfortable playing passive, and of course the reason for that is because they're more than happy to wait for their opponent team to get impatient and try to make something happen, and then they can profit on maybe mispositioning. Oh, Koikfa farming some ancients. Right now he's not going to be too happy though, because he is dead. Unstoppable Jackal gets a kill. Mousesports, they now back out. No buyback up on the Nature's Prophet, because I mean he just bought out on that side of ice.
Yeah, he just bought out, so that's real unfortunate for him. That Hex is a huge pickup if he gets to use in this fight and maybe catch out Resolution or Jackal before they're able to pop their BKB. Maybe they get the kill. But when he's down and he just spent all his gold, it makes it so that Mousesports are way in the back foot, because they spent a lot of time buying him space to farm, try and survive, and find any money they could anywhere. I don't know. iCCup, they're going to get at least one more tower here. The tier 2's going. I don't think they'll do high. Wow.
Visage Familiars, MVP. They do get one familiar off it though, but nice play by Pass.
Yeah, they get 100 gold out of it instead of all of the tower gold that got denied. Yeah, I think they'll trade that. Even Pass even has the summon off cooldown again. That's great. So they get the deny in the tower. That's like a great little play for Mouse, but they still lose that tower. It's in the mid lane. It's one of the more important ones. Roshan respawning, probably momentarily, and immediately iCCup go for it.
Yeah, they also denied their own tier 2 tower though, so in terms of, you know, denying gold to each other, they're on even ground again. So it's not even that big of a deal, and yeah, Roshan, iCCup, they're gonna try and take that one. I'm assuming Mouse is aware of that. The question is, do they want to do something about it? And I actually don't think they do, but they do have that RP, and we know that the Aegis or the Roche Pit is a brilliant place to go for those clutch RPs. However, there's no control up. I mean, we know that Pass has a gem, and he's of course with that trying to clean out all iCCup's wards, but we don't even have, well actually we have Resolution with the gem as well, so I guess they've been cleaning out each other's jungles, as by the way, Dragonite almost has his Assault Cuirass finished.
Yeah, Dragonite gonna have, with that AC, it's a lot of additional armor on him. He's very difficult to kill, and that's the armor's really the important stat when you know you're going up against the lifesteal. All he can really do is physical damage, and having more HP isn't necessarily effective because he does burn through that with the feast. It just gives him more lifesteal effectively. So we're going to see a fight over the Roche Pit. It's kind of hard to say who's going to come out ahead. iCCup, they do have the advantage in these fights, even if it's just barely at this point. But a big RP, you know, it can always turn the tide of the fight.
Yep. One Magnus, and the game is never over until the throne falls. That's the way. That's what Magnus brings. And especially Magnus with the double damage rune. Though his rune is about to disappear. Though of course the familiars are still hanging around the Roche Pit, so they can check up on them every time they want. And I wonder, like, if they go for Roshan right now, how fast will they be able to take it down? They still have a medallion somewhere, right? They should have it. Yeah, there we go. Shadow Demon has as the one of iCCup. Yeah. I'm thinking it can be fairly fast. Maybe though they'll have to deal with Koikfa split pushing in the meantime, and they do not want to lose a tier 3 tower for the Roshan for sure. So this is Mousesports trying to force iCCup top lane. Oh, Dragon Tail, go for Black, Split Earth. Chain Stun, is it gonna work? No Rage, that's a kill. Luna with the last hit, and that should allow for iCCup to defend their tier 3 tower and get
There's
Roshan
no
as well.
buyback on Black.
Yeah, in comes the Hex, nicely done by Mac, finds Koikfa. Is there gonna be more? In comes Jackal, he's already trying to TP out, but the Dragon, of course, has got that gem. That's Koikfa, that double kill for him, as it still counts. They defend their top lane, and should be trying to rotate to Roshan about now to try and take that Aegis, and I don't think that Mouse can do anything about it. I mean, they can't. Actually, they could buy back their Nature's Prophet if they really want to, but they can't buy back Black, and that's gonna make sure that they're not gonna try.
Yeah, not having buyback on Black is also huge. Mousesports, it just feels like they keep getting caught out in really awkward times. They're thinking that they're safe with these big heroes. Nature's Prophet first, he just finishes his Hex, immediately gets picked off. Black, the same thing, he finishes his MKB to make sure that that butterfly that is recently picked up by Luna isn't going to do that much, and immediately gets picked off as well. So free Roshan for iCCup. I don't think they're going to be able to take anything else on the map. We only have about 15 seconds until these heroes are back up, but they do have an advantage, and if they try and force another fight with this Aegis and they can't get through it and Jackal twice, like, it's going to be difficult. Fortunately, Rubik gets this kill on Darkseer.
Yeah, of course, Fada helping out, and RP used for that one, so that's a solo RP. And now knowing that iCCup is not up against a Magnus that actually has an RP, that might be an opening for them. Do have some more items being built up in the meantime. I mean, the Sword Crest is ready on the Dragon Knight, sitting in his inventory. We've got ourselves, I just saw, oh yeah, there it is. It is the Satanic ready there for the Luna. And someone else just bought another item as well. I keep forgetting who, but it is Shadow Blade up on Fada. No, it was the Blink Dagger up on Rubik. Fada already had the Shadow Blade. So support Rubik with the Blink Dagger. So more initiation possibilities for Mousesports, perhaps.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to make sure that they can get the start of the fight as good as possible, because that's really what they need here. They can't just hope that Fada's going to get the amazing RP that wins the game for them. That's, you know, it's kind of a pipe dream. Teams are used to playing against Magnus at this point. Maybe they're a little bit less used to it now since it's been a while, but it really doesn't look like iCCup have gotten surprise 5-man RP in this game, obviously. No. They've only ever gotten a couple heroes at best. And iCCup now just going to push up this top lane.
Yeah, and the one thing that Mousesports can really hope for in this game is that Rubik steals himself a nice vacuum instead of an Iron Shell, and then they could maybe get a 5-man RP if they surprise iCCup with that steal, but for now that hasn't happened just yet. Mousesports is going to try to push down on the tier 2 tower on the mid lane, but they are going to get forced out, or at least going to have some TPs in response to that one. Jackal wants to still go for pause, uses Eclipse, looking for it. Eclipse actually gets stolen by Synderen. And that's no kill on the board. Still have Resolution in this Shadow Blade, trying to chase something down. Goes for a Dragon Tail, vacuum in there. That's gonna be 2 supports down. You might have an Eclipse Synderen, but you are already dead. Can't use a double kill for Resolution, and they don't look to be wanting to back off. They will have to deal with a pushed out bottom lane, as Spada is making sure that happens. Koikfa is trying to do the same thing on the top lane, but he is very far away from the base, and he's gonna get forced back because his tier 3 is under attack in the mid lane right now.
Yeah, they're gonna get forced back, but not that quickly. They have a creep wave with them, and there's no creep wave for iCCup in the mid lane, so this is gonna be a base race, and I think, yeah, Mouser have the advantage here. Especially with no, the glyph's on cooldown. They're just giving it away.
Yeah, there's Rex down. Two of those bouncing blades, it will definitely help. I mean, Jackal is not to be messed with. They are just gonna go for tier 4s. And now, Mousesports will be forced to TP out, TP back. Let's see how much they can get here. Bouncing blade, Synderen already so low from that one. They get one tier 4, should be able to get the second as well, and they're just gonna go for the throne. Their own throne is still just fine. In the meantime, on the top lane, Mag is trying to distract the rest of Mousesports. Shadow Demon goes down still. Koikfa in some trouble. Man fighting Jackal. Jackal still has the Aegis though and goes down. Abyssal Blade, upper resolution, turns on his BKB, goes on Black. Black will be picked off, godlike. That's gonna be Luna that took the last hit. Jackal hasn't died yet this entire game. This might be his first time, but he looks to take down Arax, take down a throne. Can he do it? No, he can't. He goes down for the first time. His dragon buddy going down with him, and that is the push-in warded off by Mousesports. But this throne, I mean, this does not lie. Only 1,000 HP left. Only one push-in, and it could all be over for Mousesports.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't see it going that way, but
Nope.
I mean, iCCup, they didn't really have another option. They couldn't switch to another lane and try and just take a second set of racks with their... Both teams push very quickly, I guess is what it comes down to. The buildings kind of just melted, and I don't think Mousesports really expected that either. They were just like, all right, we'll trade barracks with you, and then suddenly their tier 4s are going down. They're
Suddenly
like, panic.
Luna.
Yeah, it was just complete panic mode. They immediately run in. They have to start fighting them. They can't afford to like try and wait for the best engagement possible because their tier 4s were dead already. So they have to go in. They have to take them down. They managed to get them off. They get the first kill of the game on Jackal, but they had to use buyback on Black. They had to use buyback on the Nature's Prophet, and those buybacks are still up on the side of iCCup. So I expect iCCup to try and force another fight now. They know they have that 5-ish minutes at this point where there's no buybacks on those two key heroes, and if they get either of them down, it's probably game over.
Now they do have to deal with Fada and his newly acquired BKB though, but with the physical damage that Luna is dishing out, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a problem at all. Fortification is still there, Lightning trying to stop the pushing from happening. In comes Mac, there comes a vacuum. BKB's turned on all across the board as Fada blinks in for BKB, scores Mac, and Resolution taking a ton of damage. Jackal turning up with BKB turned on, trying to go for Black, but Black taking a ton of damage, and in the end it has to infest into a creep to get himself out of there. Look, Shrek will be the one to go down. We already have Fada on the sidelines. They know that Black is inside a creep right there. They just have to try and have the creep. Oh, they're waiting for Black to show up. This creep, they know he's in there. And there they go, and they find him, and they kill him as well. That's gonna be an opening that iCCup wants, and they should, with this, be able to do something, but... Oh, wow. Nature's Prophet Ultimate just picked up Darkseer still. Quickfire on the other side of the map, but Quickfire is also, of course, the one that they have to be wary about, because he could split push and try and take down tier 4s of their own. Buyback for the Darkseer is still there. He can maybe defend together with Always Wanna Fly. Should be enough. And marching through mid is iCCup, Jackal, Resolution, and we just like looking for that throne.
Always Wanna Fly maybe in some trouble here. Quickfoot's hunting him, but Quickfoot can't really... He's going for it, but he can't race this. Best case scenario, he gets a tier 4 down, and he won't get the other one before they lose their ancient, and there's no glyph. This is all just trying to stall.
Yeah, let's see how lucky he is. Fada turns on his BKB. Jackal still has his BKB. It's turned into a pick the first. Resolution in the meantime already bashing on the throne. Lightning's going through. BKB's turned on. Jackal, hit the Rex. You can do it. Or hit the throne, rather. And that should be game. That is game. GG, well played, gets called out. And it is iCCup that take the first game, I think, against most people's odds. They have a 1-game advantage upon Mousesports in this best of 3 for the Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament. And will find out if Mousesports can force out a 3rd game, because that's what's going to be needed if they still want to be in the loser bracket finals. I have to say, I'm impressed.
That was a really exciting game. I didn't see it going that way. I thought they were going to be a little bit more passive, both teams.
Yeah.
But iCCup, Mousesports, they both are going for racks. Mouse are like, well, we're probably going to lose our mid racks no matter what. Let's take these bottom racks, force a trade. That favors us right now. And it does favor them in that case, but when iCCup go for tier 4s,
yeah,
things get real scary real fast.
It does. iCCup living up to their potential in terms of having aggressive games and making Mousesports therefore reply in aggression as well. So let's see what happens in the second game. More Dota 2 coming your way in just a second, so stick around for more action for Mousesports and iCCup.